Hi guys, welcome to Linux YouTube channel. My name is Ram Mishra and I'm your online instructor. So what's in this video? In this video we will talk about continue statement in shell script. But before start the lab session, we need to understand few points, which is what is continue statement and how it's useful in the shell script. You can see this picture. According to this picture, the shell scripting in the shell scripting, or you can say bash shell scripting, the continue statement is used within loops to skip the rest of the current loop iteration and move directly to the next iteration. So in the simple world, we can say the continue statement is used to skip the current iteration of a loop and process to the next iteration. When continuous encounter, the renaming commands within the current iteration are skipped and the loop's condition is reevaluated for the next iteration. It is applicable within the for, while, and until loop, right? So in this demo, we will explore the basic syntax of continuous statement in Bash and examine how they can be used in shell script. So let's do the lab session and I'll try to explain this figure in a demonstration part. So I am on my Linux box. Let me show you the OS release version. Currently I'm using RHEL 9.3. Let's start with the first step, which is a syntax of continue statement. So let's go with the documentation, help, continue. So you can see if I'm trying to, help continue. So this will show the built-in help for continue statement in Bash. Let me try to explain this one. First of all, we have a continue. So continue means when executed, it immediately stops the current iteration of the loop and skipping any remaining commands within the loop's body for the iteration. Controls then return to the loop's condition or next item beginning the subsequent iteration. And then and this is the optional argument to specify the number of enclosing loops to continue. If n is provided, continue will skip to the next iteration of the nth enclosing loop. So the default value for n is 1, meaning it affects the immediate enclosing loop. So to better understand how to use the continue statement, let's move to the lab session and I'm going to start with the first case, which is continue with for loop script, right? So continue with for loop script means continue statement inside for loop. It jumps directly to the next item into the loop, skipping any code that comes after the continue in the current iteration. So continue with for loop means skip the rest of the this loop for this specified value and move to the next one. So let's start. So first of all, we create a text file. So using text editor in Linux, I'm using vim text editor. You can go with anyone. I'll start with demo.sh. Name could be anything. Extension should be .sh. And let me copy the content from my notepad and then I'll try to explain. So let me go the first example, which is very simple and easy example to be understand. Okay. So I'll go with this. Now here, let me explain the code. Look at the line number 1, which is shebang line. This is the shebang line, this one, right? It tells the system to run the script using the bash shell. Then in the next line, for loop start here, for I in inside the curly braces 1 double dot 10. So it is set a loop where the variable I is takes on the value from 1 to 10, one at a time, and so the loop will run 10 times. So with I value, I is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 till 10. Then we have next line do. So basically do means what? Begins the block of the code to run in each iteration of the loop. Then we have a if condition started. So I start the if condition here. This check the current value of I is equal to 5 or not. Double square bracket here, you can see double square bracket. It is basically used for test expression in the bash. And dollar $I get replaced with the current value of I. Then I have mentioned then we have start if the condition is true, whatever the condition is here, dollar $I is equal to 5 is true or equal to 2. So what you will do, you will run the code echo number dollar $I. So for example, it will say number 5 when I is 5. Then we have continue here. Continue means this tell the loop to skip the rest of the command in the current iteration and go for the next value of I. So when I is 5, the echo $I is skipped. This one is got skipped, right? 5 means end of the block, end of the if block. And then echo $I, it runs only when I is not 5. It is 5, then it will print number 5. And finally done, end of the loop. And echo done is basically, this is outside of this loop, it runs only once after the loop is finished. So it's a simple, right? Let me make it executable and run it. So I'll run the command chmod plus x demo.sh, and now try to run demo.sh. See, we got the result. But did you notice 1 2 3 4 5? Look at the 5. Number 5 is printed instead of just 5 because of the continue statement. So echo $I skipped when I is 5. Let me open my file here. Look at this. Look at this. And if I run one more time, look at this. So try to check from here. So basically, if I'm trying to explain one more time in a simple term, we start the loop, for loop, iterating the values from variable I from 1 to 10, then checks the value of I. When the variable is equal to 5, the program echoes the message and restart the loop at the next iteration. And it print the number to the console only when the condition statement is false. As soon as it is true, it show the number 5, right? So this is how we can simply understand how the continue statement works, right? Let's take another example, which is skipping file based on the extensions. So this time my requirement is that I want to perform some operation on only, for example, .txt file and skip all the others. So let's make a custom directory with some blank file and some of .txt file. So I'll make a folder slash hello. I'll move inside. I make some file touch for A file, B file, C file, and say one.log file and two.log file, right? Let me save cal output cal.txt. Similarly, save date command date.txt, and I'm back. So you can notice inside my hello, we have some condition, right? Here we have some uh, simple file, regular file, ABC, some text file, .txt, and some log file, which is blank file, one.log and two.log. So let's modify my script accordingly and update the code. So I'll change the code again. Okay, let me try to explain this one more time. So basically, the as usual first line is shebang line. It tells the operating system to use the bash shell to interpret this script. In the next line, I'm using read command here. Read. This prompt the user to enter a directory path, and input is stored in a variable name directory here, right? Then in the next line, for loop. This loop goes through all file in the specified directory. In my case, dollar directory, right? And dollar directory slash star means every file or folder inside that directory, right? Then the next line, if condition started. Here I have the next line, if condition started. uh, this check if the file does not end with .txt. If it is not a .txt file, then script skip that part, right? So then in the next line, I'm using continue statement. So continue statement start here. This skip to the next file in the loop if current one is not .txt. And then we are echoing some message. It prints a message showing .txt file currently being processed, right? And then in the next line, we run one command, for example, counting line, wc-l dollar file. So wc is basically word count command to count the number of line in the file, and hyphen l option return the line count only, right? And finally, we have done. Mark the end of the for loop block. So in short, this script prompt the user for a directory path, then find all the .txt file in that directory and display how many lines each .txt file contains. So let's run the script and check it. So I just run demo.sh and my path is hello. See, I got the result. It's working. So inside hello, we have a cal.txt 165 line date.txt 203. Even you can notice in hello, we have few more files, but all those are skipped. So this is how it's working, right? With the help of continuous. Let's take one more example. Like this time my requirement is that I want to skip offline host in a networking script. So my requirement is I want to, with the help of continue statement, I want to looping through a list of hosts, but skipping those that don't respond to my ping command line output, right? So again, let me modify my file, script file. Let me go and call up my script here. So here you can notice the first line is shebang as usual. It tells the operating system to use the bash shell to interpret the script. Then in the next line we are using map file command. Notice that here map file. So basically this command reads each line from the file name IP underscore address underscore list. Currently is not exist. I will create and store it into the array variable name host. Hyphen T option basically remove the new line character from each line. Then loops iterate over each IP and perform the ping or SSH logic, whatever I have. Then in the next line, for loop start. I have started the for loop here. It loops through each IP address stored in the host array. Host and the bracket at the rate expand to all elements in the array with proper quoting. Then in the next line, if condition start with continue statement, I said ping hyphen C1 uppercase W1 dollar host. It will send one ICMP ping with time of 1 second of the host to the host and dollar and an ampersand and greater than symbol dev null. It's basically redirect both standard output and standard error to the dev null. And if condition I start exclamation mark, it negates the result. If ping fails, it print the uh, host is offline, right? Skipping and skip the SSH step using continue. So here's the continue statement. And then finally, we are echoing and run the SSH command. Run SSH command on host and SSH host uptime. So if the host is online, it will print a message. Try to connect via SSH to host and run the uptime command, which basically shows how long the system has been running. And then finally, we have done that one. So let's try to run this. So if I'm trying to explain in a very short form, in a one-line summary, basically this script read the IP addresses from a file into an array, then ping each IP address, skip offline host and SSH into the online host and run the uptime command. So I need to create this file first of all. So let me create this file with some IP addresses. 192.168.0.1. This is the IP address of this machine. 192.168.0.2, 10.0.0.3, something like that, right? So I just write down only three entry here. Currently in my setup, only 192.168.0.1 node is available, which is this itself, right? If config ENS160, that's my current IP, right? Now let's try to run it and see whether it's worked or not. So if I go demo.sh, hey, it is asking the password. I'll give the password, and yep, I got the output. And you can see 2 is offline, skipping 0.2 offline, skipping, right? So this is how you can notice it's working fine. So finally, we are in the conclusion part. In today's demo session, we understand the importance of continue command, which is used to skip the current iteration and jump to the next iteration. We have discussed the uses of continue command by taking three examples. With the understanding of this demo, I hope you can easily understand the working of continue command in Linux. So that's all about this demo, guys. Thank you for taking the time with me, and I hope that is it has improved your understanding of this topic. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned new things. Soon I will come up with another new interesting topic. Till then, keep practicing. If you feel something I have missed out or you wanted to know more something else, please reach out through my social media link, which is mentioned in the description. And if you like this video, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe my channel, and press the bell icon button for the latest update. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.